Let us pray. Almighty God, we bow down before Thee in humble obedience and dependence. We pray Thee grant us the grace to respect each other this day in all our consultations, that our deliberations today shall take place in the spirit of mutual trust, so that we as leaders shall lead our country in the path of peace and shall find solutions for issues and problems facing us. Grant us the mercy, O Lord, that we shall today also honor Thy name in all we think, do, and say. Almighty God, we pray Thee bless our land and all its people. This all we pray in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Affirmation. I solemnly affirm that I will be faithful to the Republic of Namibia and its people, and I solemnly promise to uphold and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Namibia to the best of my ability. Announcements. I would like to announce that as part of the Commonwealth Games tradition, the King's Baton Relay is going to pass through all Commonwealth member states. The King's Baton Relay carries a message from the head of the Commonwealth, symbolizing the unity and diversity of member nations. For the first time, each Commonwealth nation and territory will receive its own uniquely customized baton. And Namibia's baton will represent our rich culture and heritage, while also showcasing our commitment to environmental conservation in partnership with Ocean Conservation Namibia. In light of the above, the King's Baton Relay delegation is scheduled to present this baton to the National Assembly on Tuesday, the 30th of September, 2025. They will arrive at 15:30 and sit in for a bit in the gallery, and they are then going to present it in the courtyard during tea break, where MPs will be able to engage the athletes and para-athletes and to wish them luck. This engagement is not anticipated to be long. Further, I would like to announce, honorable members, that the following members will represent the National Assembly at the Southern Africa Development Community Parliamentary Forum, SADC-PF, for 2025 to 2030 term. And they are Honorable John Likando, Honorable Paula Koper, and Honorable Nelson Kalangula. Congratulations to these honorable members on their appointments. And I encourage you to carry out your functions and duties with efficiency, effectiveness, professionalism, and diligence. I thank you. Now, any message from the head of state, the Right Honorable Prime Minister?
Thank you very much. Is it on?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Comrade Speaker. Yeah, they agree. Message of the President, and I quote, "The United Nations is holding its 80th Annual General Assembly this week in New York, which I had the honor to address on behalf of the government of the Republic of Namibia. I wish to share with you and expand on, honorable members of the National Assembly, some of the salient challenges I mentioned in my speech. Born out of the ashes of the devastating World War II, the treaty that brought the UN into being had the equal rights of all the people and nations enshrined in it. When the founders convened 80 years ago, they did so to establish an organization that should save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. They did so to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, dignity of the human person, and equal rights of men and women, and of nations large and small. They did so to lay the groundwork for a durable system that promotes justice and respect for the obligation arising from treaties and international law. While over the following decades we have come close to the brink of war, the United Nations has stood the test of time, from decolonization to promoting the right to self-determination, from conflict prevention to securing peace, to the provisions of humanitarian assistance. The UN has continued to fulfill its founding mandate under very difficult circumstances. We note the ongoing efforts of the UN to ensure that it remains fit for purpose, including the UN 80 initiative. We need an agile United Nations that is inclusive. Respect for the UN Charter and its purposes and principles must be our guiding star for our future endeavors. We meet against a backdrop of profound global tensions. The Charter of the United Nations has laid the foundation for conditions necessary for peaceful coexistence and harmony among nations. Therefore, unilateral coercive measures should not be used as tools to undermine sovereign states. This violates the Charter and its principles and purposes. The UN Charter compels its member states to promote peace, development, and to live together as neighbors. Looking back over the past 8 years, nothing tortures our conscience than seeing the UN failure to compel the United States of America to remove its inhuman and illegal embargo against Cuba and its people. This economic embargo is an unsightly scar on the Charter of the United Nations. Since 1962, the people of Cuba have long suffered from the punitive and excessive economic, financial, and commercial blockade imposed by successive US administrations. True, the Cold War ended 34 years ago, but Cuba, a sovereign member state of the UN, to date remains shackled by this diabolic economic embargo. We have a generation of people in Cuba that has only known their country under such severe sanctions. Today, some 63 years later, these brutal sanctions have caused immense economic devastations on Cuba and its people. Estimates suggest that the embargo costs over $3.6 billion every year. Between 2022 and 2023 alone, the UN assessed and put the damage to the Cuban economy at $4.9 billion. These embargoes must go. Both sides feel their impact, with Cuba being the worst hit. Again, in 2023, the UN estimated that the total economic damage to the Cuban economy to be in trillions. It is time the US and Cuba normalize their economic and trade relations. Namibia joins the rest of the international community in demanding that the US lift its economic, financial, and commercial blockade against Cuba. We will raise our voice in calling for an end to such illegal economic, financial, and commercial sanctions imposed on the friendly people of Cuba and removing her from the list of states sponsoring terrorism. The Charter of the United Nations compels us to do so. We stand with the people of Cuba to end this economic blockade. Just as the people of Cuba stood by us, they stood by us in life and death during our liberation struggle. The internationalist forces fought side by side with us up to the legendary Battle of Kwitokwana Valley, which saw the apartheid regime of South Africa finally agreeing to the implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 435. Therefore, hands off Cuba. We also call for an end to the illegal sanctions on Zimbabwe. We are equally gravely concerned about the emerging threats against Venezuela and call for the sanctions and threats against that country to end. The UN Commission of Inquiry on the Occupied Palestinian Territories, including East Jerusalem, has just released its findings that indeed a genocide is being committed against the Palestinian people. Despite the clear provisions of the Security Council and General Assembly resolutions and advisory opinions rendered by the International Court of Justice, the humanitarian situation in Gaza is worsening, and access to humanitarian aid is severely limited. A failure to address the crisis in Gaza could become the moral failure that defines this era. We call on the UN Security Council to find consensus and help put an end to this long-standing conflict between Israel and Palestine. Namibia's history is one of untold suffering, marked by apartheid, colonialism, and genocide. It is our painful history that compels us to speak out, not out of bitterness, but out of the conviction of the power of international solidarity. The unprecedented human suffering of the people of Palestine should question our human conscience. What we need is constructive dialogue to prevail. The people of Palestine must also benefit from the noble promises of the United Nations Charter. As I conclude, the impasse in the UN Security Council over the question of Western Sahara is an injustice, coming as it does more than 34 years after the adoption of Resolution 690 of 1991. The time for the holding of the UN referendum on the right to self-determination for the people of Sahrawi is now. The call for meaningful reform of the United Nations has never been more urgent. This reform necessitates democratizing global governance, amplifying marginalized voices, and ensuring that international law is not a tool of convenience, but a shield for the most vulnerable. I reaffirmed Namibia's commitment to its international obligations and the multilateral order. Respect for international law is not just a legal duty, it is a moral imperative. We must reaffirm our commitment to the principles that unite us: mutual respect, peaceful resolution of disputes, and solidarity in the face of common challenges. Let us remember that even the smallest nations have a voice. When these voices are heard and heeded, durable peace and justice will prevail. We have an obligation to make this our moment, not of despair, but of renewal. We have the opportunity to restore hope, to build a future, defined not by divisions, but by unity and preservation of human dignity, in the interest of our children and future generations. I thank you, and unquote.
Yes, thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. I think they will get the copy from you. The staff will get the copy from you. Any petitions? Reports of standing or select committees? Other reports and papers?
Okay.
Notices of questions? Honorable Daniel? Okay. Honorable Hishono.
Notes of question?
Yes.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Tuesday, 30 of September this year, I shall ask my counterpart, Honorable Sadet Senekam, the following. Honorable Speaker. Yes, that one. Honorable Speaker, my attention has been drawn to the internal memorandum from Ohangwena region addressed to the inspectors of education and school principals and others with the subject procurement of textbooks for 2026 academic year. I asked the same question last Tuesday, then I was told to put it on a blue paper. So the allocated amount of 4,635,196 and 53 cents has been divided into 5 groups, each with a specific allocation, such as all learners in primary schools with an allocated amount of $54.24, grade 8 to 9, $180, and grade 12, $350 to buy textbooks next year. Now, as a shadow Deputy Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport, Art and Culture, I ask the Honorable Minister following questions. Honorable Minister, which formula was used in these allocations?
Nana.
Was this template used for Ohangwena only, or it was applied to all schools in Namibia? Will the Honorable Minister clarify to the parents out there and to this House what exactly the term free education entails? The former Minister of Education in the previous year publicly said parents shouldn't buy books anymore since the government is giving enough money to schools. Honorable Minister, is this money enough to buy books for the next year in all schools?
Imagine.
What shall parents do when they receive the long list from schools by the end of this term to buy stationaries? What shall they do? Lastly, may the Honorable Minister perhaps give a referral to the nearest shop that will be selling a book at $54.24. Honorable Speaker, I so submit.
Yeah, Honorable Member, please table the questions. I recognize Honorable Lukato.
Thank you very much, Honorable, and welcome back with health condition. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, members of leaders of all political parties, thank you for the platform. I'm here by giving notice that on Thursday, the 9th October 2025, I shall ask the Honorable Deputy Right Prime Minister and the Minister of Mines and Energy, Honorable Natangwe Itete, the following question. In the Honorable Speaker, the suspected illegal mineral exploration in Denika Previ in the 1980s. Honorable Minister, as you might be aware that last year, the discovery of critical and strategic minerals was made in the Zambezi region. There is a turning point in the perceived historical and the mindset of some politicians about the role of the production of the area, as the region was usually regarded as the food basket of Namibia. There was even a program run on the South African Broadcasting Corporation before independence, termed Caprivi Suzuma Saricho, literally translated as a Caprivi, the bread basket. Even in exile, during the Liberation War, Capri was earmarked for that portfolio of producing food for independence of Namibia. But unfortunately so, That vision of making Caprivi the food basket never materialized. But this mindset and the scenario has changed with the discovery of strategic materials in two constituents of Kongola and Linyanti. Honorable Speaker, according to the company CEO Duna Mate, the minerals discovered are aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chloride, potassium, calcium, manganese, iron, cobalt, copper, and the tantalum. The minerals were discovered in the areas of Kamenga to Batubacha. In this vein, the former Zambezi regional governor, Honorable Alfea Sampofu, had announced a major discovery of higher concentration of critical minerals that can elevate Namibia as a major supplier of minerals significant in every transition and other enabling future technologies. With these recent discoveries of these strategic minerals in the constituency, many local residents and other Namibians interested was generated and wanted to know whether the discoveries were real. It is important to raise this issue, Honorable, because in the minds of the people, minerals not only bring employment, but it's a source of wealth. Lastly, from all possibilities, the company was tasked to explore from Tubundu.
Honorable member, can you round up, please?
Yeah, yes. So some local people were, let me finish it here. Therefore, I humbly request the respected Honorable Deputy Right Prime Minister and the Minister of Mines and Energy to establish a team of experts to be sent to Zambezi region to investigate and find out about these resources in question, and the report should be represented to this august House. Honorable Speaker, I so submit.
Thank you. Can the honorable member please raise the question? Yes. Point of privilege. Okay, Honorable Antenya.
Honorable Speaker, I stand on point of privilege that I think, Honorable Speaker, we have resolved last time on to be very, very strict on time. That this time is showing us the 3 minutes, and immediately when the 3 minutes lapse, Honorable Speaker, please, may we stick to that time. And the Speaker at hand, when the time have lapsed, I think it ought to move forward so that, Honorable Speaker, we can handle these motions and the questions timely. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Can the members please also help me? Let's try to stick within the 3 minutes, ne? Yeah, because we will pose the questions or motivate the motion. Honorable Ricardo Roderick.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on the 2nd of October 2025, I shall ask the Honorable Minister of Environment, Forest and Tourism the following questions. Honorable Speaker, according to a report by the Windhoek Observer of Saturday, September 2025, during the national cleaning campaign held in Kurenkuru, Kavango West, the Honorable Minister announced the government's intention to implement stronger penalties against littering, illegal dumping and pollution. Additionally, the Minister revealed plans to establish brigades in all the regions led by youth and community leaders to spearhead these environmental activities. Honorable Speaker, we support the Minister's commitment to improving environmental management, protecting public spaces and promoting community-led action. Considering these significant announcements, I seek clarification on the following matters. Honorable Minister, can you provide details on the specific legislative changes or amendments that the government plans to introduce to enforce stronger penalties against littering, illegal dumping and pollution? What timeline has the ministry set for the implementation of these new penalties, and how will compliance be monitored across all regions? Could the Honorable Minister elaborate on how the youth and community leaders criteria will be used to ensure accountability? What budgetary provisions have been made to support the establishment and functioning of these brigades in all regions? How will the ministry monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of these brigades in reducing littering, illegal dumping, and pollution? Will the ministry provide training, protective equipment, and logistical supports for these brigades? And if so, what are the specifics? As I look at my time, are these brigades only planned on land, or does this include our riverbed and the ocean? Honorable Speaker, I so submit.
Yes, thank you. Please table the questions, Honorable Member. Thank you. I recognize Honorable Mongo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have two questions. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, 2nd October 2025, I shall ask the Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, Honorable Indeleni Daniel, the following. Honorable Speaker, the Gambling Trust Fund, established under Section 25 of the Gaming and Entertainment Control Act 2018, Act 13 of 2018, is intended to mitigate the socio-economic impacts of gambling, fund rehabilitation programs, and support public education. Despite these clear objectives, concerns continue regarding the fund's implementation and oversight. While the Act requires the fund held in trust by the Gambling Board of Namibia to obtain revenues from the license fees, levies, penalties, and other sources, there appears to be an insufficient transparency in this disbursement of funds, the effectiveness of funded programs, and compliance by gaming operators. I therefore ask the following questions. What mechanisms are currently in place to ensure full transparency and public reporting on the income and expenditure of the Gambling Trust Fund? How does the ministry ensure that all gambling operators are fully compliant in paying their required contributions to the fund? What percentage of the fund's annual income is allocated to addressing the socio-economic impact of gambling, treatment and rehabilitation, and public education programs, respectively? What measurable impacts have these allocations had in mitigating gambling addiction and the related social problems in Namibia? Please provide us with concrete examples. How are civil society organizations and community-based rehabilitation programs supported through the Gambling Trust Fund? And lastly, given the rise of online and digital gambling, has the ministry considered amending the current allocation legal framework of funds to address new risks, such as underage online gambling? I so submit.
Thank you. You have a second one. Please, you have to do that quickly, because the opportunity is only once according to the rules, but let's...
It will not work.
Yes. Okay, so you post one. Okay, please table the question. Thank you very much. I recognize Honorable Hifikwa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and welcome back. I hereby give notice that on the 2nd of October 2025, I shall ask the Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture the following question. Honorable Speaker, the inconsistency in the teaching profession have left many of our teachers demoralized and unfairly treated. According to the National Curriculum for Basic Education 2016, teachers should, as far as possible, be single subject specialists, or at the very least, teach not more than 2 subjects that are mutually related at the senior secondary level. Yet, Honorable Speaker, the ministry has allowed institutions of high learning under the approval of its statutory body, the NQA, to train teachers in mismatching subject combinations that are not mutually related. However, these graduates are employed in our schools, but when it comes to promotion, the very same ministry denies them their advancement, leaving them stranded and professionally stagnant. Meanwhile, those with mutually related combinations on their qualifications are promoted, even when they only teach one subject in practice. This double standard has not only trapped many dedicated teachers in career stagnation, but has also devalued the teaching profession itself. It exposes the lack of synergy between the ministry, the NQA, and our universities, and raises serious questions about policy coherence and fairness. I therefore ask, Honorable Speaker, why does the ministry continue to approve and permit teachers training program with mismatched subject combination that directly contradict the national curriculum? Number 2, why are the teachers who graduated from the very ministry-approved programs and who have served diligently for many years are now being sidelined for promotion and professional growth? Is the ministry not in effect punishing teachers for following the very training that they sanctioned, while rewarding others who are not even teaching both in their mutually related subject currently? Number 4, as I look at my time, I'll jump one question. Number 4, what immediate measures will the ministry implement to restore fairness in promotion, ensure that teachers are not punished for faults beyond their control, and hold accountable the institutions that continues producing mismatching qualifications for the disadvantage of the education system? I am done anyway. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Honorable member, you may not talk when you are. Yes. Now I recognize Honorable Lutuhezi.
Oral question?
Oral question. Okay, let's hear Honorable Brinkman. Is it a written?
Oral.
It's oral. Okay. Then we hear Honorable Lutuhezi.
I want to seek your indulgence, Honorable Speaker. My question is directed to the Minister of Education, Honorable Stienka. I see she's not here, but I wouldn't have a problem if Honorable Balotti can attempt to answer me.
Yeah, Honorable Lutuhezi, that's a problem for reasons that I have alluded to previously. The accountability in terms of the Constitution to Parliament is with the ministers. The deputy ministers are to assist the ministers, and they are delegated by ministers. So it becomes difficult to ask an unnotified question to a deputy minister because there is no opportunity for the minister to delegate. So I'm constrained from that point of view. If it was notified, then the deputy minister can respond on behalf of the minister because she will have been delegated.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
I'll come and speak on Tuesday.
Very good. Honorable Brinkman.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to ask my Honorable Minister of Health.
Yes. May I get the gist of the question?
It's about the Mpox outbreak in Zambia.
Mpox, okay.
Yes, and
okay,
the 52 scholarships.
Question,
it's 2 questions.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. Honorable Minister, we have seen that it has been recorded that there is an Mpox outbreak happening in Zambia. 32 cases have been reported that it is at the neighboring towns, bordering our towns, Katima, Mulilo, and around. I just want to know what measures are in place from the ministry side concerning surveillance. And we understood since last year, November, that there were not vaccines available for this disease. What is the current status of that? And my second question, 3rd of July, according to the Facebook post of Eagle FM, 52 scholarships, even on the ministry's website, it's there. 52 scholarships were awarded we want to know what is the current status of that scholarships. Did the students receive or not? We have understood that when the students tried to reach out to the ministry, apparently they were told they are not, or there is no funds. How true is this? So I submit.
Thank you. I call upon the Minister of Health.
Okay. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question. Regarding the first question with MPOX, there are clear surveillance pathways, mechanisms currently in place. Firstly is, number one, direct communication. You will note that the Ministry is directly in contact with, firstly, the Ministers of Health in these countries, but also through the Africa CDC. It allows us to keep an active trace of not just the number of cases, but also to continue to discuss with the Director General of the Africa CDC, particularly in terms of not just surveillance, but also prevention, and then where you responded in terms of vaccines and the availability thereof in Africa, as currently that is unevenly distributed. So to simply answer the question, yes, our surveillance teams are actively taking care to ensure that should any threats be sort of identified within the country and within the borders of Namibia, we are alerted immediately and we take the necessary action, the necessary steps. In terms of education, health education is being given as well in order to possibly identify should any of these cases, because we know, particularly with countries where we share borders, extra caution must be taken to ensure, because of the fact that our borders are so close, it is easy for transmission to occur cross-border. And so this is definitely being done. Then with regards to the second question, can the Honourable Member remind me? The scholarships, yes. So regarding the scholarships issue, we have received a few complaints about not just in terms of the people or the scholars that received them, but also with regards to whether or not it was a fair process and all. Because of the nature of the question and the complaints that we have received, is it possible that I ask that you put this in writing so that we can do the necessary investigation? This is not a matter that I would need to give an answer immediately, because the necessary investigation must be done. I know with the scholarships that we announced after I took office earlier on this year, we did ensure that the necessary processes took part in order for us to ensure that the students that got the scholarship were deserving, as well as ensuring that we made it an equally distribution across various regions. But based on the question, if you can write it down for me and submit it so that we can properly investigate and make sure that your concerns, as well as probably the concerns of other Namibians, are addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Member, would you do that? Okay, thank you very much. Now, notices of motions. It's on. Ministerial statements. Yeah, Honourable Indileni. Daniel. Sorry, I'm mixing up now.
It's okay. No issue. Honourable Speaker, honourable members, I rise to provide an update and an official statement regarding the buffalo stampede that occurred in the early hours of Tuesday.
Ministerial statement.
At the Kabulabula area within Kabulabula Conservancy, as a lot of questions are still coming to my office with regard to that. So it's also for the community to be alerted on what exactly happened. We can now, at this stage, that confirm that it's 90 buffaloes that perished in that tragic accident. The stampede took place at the usual site along the Chobe River. It happens not only once, it happened previously. The location is marked by a steep river bank where similar incidents have occurred in the past. This event unfolded when a herd of buffaloes fleeing a lion chase in Chobe National Park on Botswana side attempt to cross the river into Namibia. Upon reaching that steep bank, the buffalo fell on each other and ultimately drowned. The scene was discovered by local fishermen during the early morning hours. So I wish to reiterate that this is a natural occurrence and it's not a human error. One that has happened now, as per the record, 3 times in the past 5 years. While that's an unfortunate situation, it is part of the ecological dynamic of the region and the area. Recognizing buffaloes as valuable natural resources, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism authorized the distribution of meat to local community through conservancies. This process was supervised by the ministry officials and members of the Namibian police force to ensure fairness, compliance, and public order. It is important to note that the meat is strictly for personal consumption and not for sale. And on that day, on the 23rd September 2025, it was regulated. We urge all beneficiaries that they respected that governing of the sale of transport and game. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I must also highlight that buffalo population in the northeastern part of Namibia stands at approximately 11,900. These animals inhabit the eastern floodplain of Zambezi region, as well as the Babwata, Madumu, and Nkasa Rupara National Park, along with the surrounding conservancies. While we conduct a further assessment on the specific riverside to determine if any, only if that is possible, intervention are necessary. However, it is also not easy, and our intention is also not to alter the natural landscape of our river system, as such modification could lead to other greater and other environmental harm. I so submit.
Thank you. I recognize Honorable Balotti. Is it another statement? Okay, Honorable Balotti. Are there follow-up questions? With a maximum of 3 minutes, please. Okay, Honorable Hishono.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. When we wanted to ask urgent oral question, you advised that Honorable Balotti cannot answer those questions. But now he wants to make a ministerial statement.
Yes.
Yes, because he's delegated. May I speak?
Yes.
You are not the minister.
That's because
so the question is, Honorable Speaker, the question is here. After the ministerial statement, can we still ask questions and will he answer?
Yes. If the minister can answer because he's delegated, you can ask him a question.
Then he must also delegate here to
What
answer
we are
questions.
unable to do is to ask him questions that he could not anticipate and prepare for.
That he must also be delegated, Speaker.
Okay, so Honorable Balotti can proceed, please. Huh? Or are they? I can't get you. Is it a point of privilege? You have a question to Honorable Shafuda. But now we are past, we are with ministerial statement, we have a person on the floor. Huh? So what is it with Honorable Shitana? Are you also wanting to ask a question?
I wanted to comment on the ministerial statement.
Okay, you can't comment, you can only ask a question.
Yeah, to ask now. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now we start with the Honorable there, please.
It's only here.
Yeah, because he was ahead of you.
Is it now me to stand on?
Now I don't know what the mic is doing. It's contradicting the ruling, so. Okay. If you were asking a follow-up question on the statement that was made, okay, please proceed. Because he has the mic now. What
yes. Yeah, just to clarity on the issue of, she mentioned that they are at 11 900. So are they allowed, or they need to be used, or what is the way forward there? And the second question is, we have always the issue of mouth and disease, that we believe it always, they are fountain mouth disease for that amount to be transmitted to the cows. So, and these buffaloes are now being consumed there. So, what is measures are now in place there to see what is going on there?
Okay, thank you. Honorable Minister, may you please respond?
All right. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member, thank you for the question. Your concern is about the number, whether 11,900, whether it is a lot or... Okay, that is a very a question that in buffaloes we have, this is just in one area that we are talking about, an area of concern at the moment. And if you have listened from the beginning when I stated these buffaloes were coming from Botswana, they were chased from Botswana. But what the figure that I have indicated is the figure that we have in Namibia, as per our animal count. But these ones, the 90 that I'm talking about, were chased from Botswana to Namibia. And unfortunately, if you know the landscape there, or the river, there is a cliff. So it's difficult for one to climb out. And as a result, they stumbled and eventually died. The mouth and foot disease. You know, these are unpredictable and natural causes. We don't pray for them. We don't wish for them. And if they happen, yes, we do have some mechanism to control and to treat and to remedy the situation. I'm not sure the consumption. Yes. You spoke about the consumption that is only happening there? Yes, unfortunately or fortunately, yes, it's only being consumed in the community where this incident happened. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Now we give the floor to Honorable Alicando.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for the floor. And Honorable Minister, thanks for the update. But I still want to find out, Honorable Minister, this incident involves Botswana also, because this is where the buffaloes were coming from. Yeah, now, Honorable Minister, what collaboration is there between Botswana and Namibia in order to mitigate or to manage the wildlife crossover from Botswana to Namibia? There must be a collaboration. That's why I'm asking, what is the collaboration that is there? And Honorable Minister, it's not a cliff, it's a terrain. Yeah, it's not a cliff, you are misinformed, it's a terrain. Now, is there any plans for the ministry? Is there any plans for the ministry to implement preventative measures, such as fencing or putting a warning sign or anything in that nature? Those are the only two questions.
Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Okay. Thank you once again, Honorable. Okay, I have indicated towards the end of my statement that okay, maybe let me first address the issue of between us and Botswana. We do have a collaboration. We do have corridors, and we do have what we call Kaza, Kavango Zambezi corridor, where animals are freely to move. You spoke about a fence. No, a fence, putting a fence between these countries is not anything on the table yet, if it has to come. But when it comes now on the preventative measure, you have heard at the end of my statement, I indicated that Yes, we are going to look not only as Namibians, but Botswana as well, how best we can. But the challenge is, this is a river, and we do not want much to alter the natural landscape as it is now. But it's something that we can consider. But unfortunately, this is part of the ecological system, and I think at times, be it unfortunate, we just have to deal with it.
Thank you. Honorable Balotti. Where? Oh, you are also wishing to pose a question. Okay.
Honorable Speaker, I'm speaking from experience. About 3 years ago, buffaloes drowned in the Lake Diambezi when I was still teaching there at Kwena. And then people consumed the meat. And then maybe 2 days after consuming the meat, officials came from the Ministry of Environment to stop people from consuming because they've tested the meat. It was not fit for human consumption. So my question is, immediately when the buffaloes allegedly drowned at Kavulavula, people started eating the meat. Did you conduct any tests to make sure that the similar incidents that happened at Lake Diambezi should not repeat? Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Okay, now, that's the last one. Honorable Minister, can you respond, please?
Okay, with the test that I cannot verify yet because the full report has not yet been received in my office. They are still, and when it comes now to the, I don't know now whether I call it the allegation that maybe the people that consume. What was your question again?
Yeah, no, she just asked whether the meat was tested for safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... Yeah. Okay, we have professional people that deal with the situation, which is not my profession and I rely on the information that they provide to me. Yes, their expertise when it comes to wildlife and how to treat it and test those.
Yes,
and that is not really
I think the minister has responded. Honorable Balotti.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I rise to deliver a ministerial statement delegated, Honorable Hishono, by my minister, Honorable Sanet Steenkamp, following important consultations earlier this morning with the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Gurare, the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Ithete, Demarine Namibia, and the leadership of the Namibia Football Association. As a nation, we are reminded that even our strongest corporate partners operate in a global environment shaped by external economic realities beyond our control. Demarine Namibia, which over the past 3 years has invested 49 million into the Namibian Premiership and in excess of 112 million in sport over the past 7 years, find itself in an unfavorable financial position to renew their sponsorship at this time. This development presents us with a funding challenge for the commencement of the Namibia Premiership Football League, also known as the MPFL. However, let it be clear to this House and to the Namibian public, this is not an impasse, but rather a reflection of a tough economic climate. As a government and as a ministry, we wish to commend and acknowledge Demarine Namibia for their extraordinary contribution to football in recent years, just as we applaud MTC for their long-standing commitment to the men's game, Namport for its support to our lower leagues, and many other corporates who have assisted the beautiful game. I wish to stress that this is not government interference. This is government intervention, where we are actively acting responsibly to safeguard the continuity of our nation's most loved sport. Football is played in every one of our 121 constituencies, and it is a game that unites Namibians across all divides. Today, with the leadership of the Right Honourable, we have started actively mobilizing for funds to start the leagues. This is a clarion call to the private sector and to corporate Namibia to assist the Football Association in forming a consortium of companies that can collectively raise at least 20 million to ensure that our top-tier league resumes without delay. Honourable members, Honourable Speaker, football is the hope for the Namibian child. It is the inspiration of our youth, and it is the glue that binds our social fabric. It is therefore our collective responsibility to ensure that football continues. On behalf of my minister and our ministry, we extend sincere gratitude to the Right Honourable Prime Minister as well as the Deputy Prime Minister for their firm commitment to ensuring that football does not stand still. As I conclude, football must commence, and as a responsible and caring government, we are committed to see the dust of joy now. To my fellow honourable members, both from this and that side of the aisle, come on board. Offices, ministries and agencies, come on board. Private sector, corporate Namibia, come on board. And it now gives me great pleasure to announce that our caring SWAPO-led government has today, I shall repeat, it now gives me great pleasure to announce that our caring SWAPO-led government has decided today to avail 10 million towards the MPFL. I thank you.
Thank you. Now, okay, I see Honorable Hishono there. Is it a question?
Follow up.
Okay, then you will have to wait for Honorable Moto because
Okay.
She can't. Yeah, you have the floor, please. Take the floor, Honorable Hishono. She needed to pass before you can rise.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for the information you have shared with us. Deputy Minister, yes, I'm shadowing you in this. You were saying the joy that is brought by football is well acknowledged. And the football continues. Where are the stadiums? Because we remember that there were supposed to be stadiums of the capacity of 33,000 in every regional consequence. And up to this time, we do not see anything. What happened to Honorable Minister? And this 10 million, did you say it's from SWAPO or you said this from where? We want to know here very well. Where is this 10 million from? It's from SWAPO. SWAPO is sponsoring football.
Honorable members, the questions are to follow up on the issues on which statements are made, not on anything else concerning the ministry. So having said that, Honorable Balotti may respond. Oh, there is another question. From who? Honorable Shitana?
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. I think we must really take a serious action towards this sponsorship of our league. You're just mentioning now that now the led government availed 10 million. Yeah. So we must never always found it in the way of celebrating a last solution when we are facing a problem. So you must listen very carefully. That's why I don't run when I'm speaking. So sometimes it's hurting us. I was the best goalkeeper. And due to the insufficiency, listen here, I'm telling you,
Honorable Stana, you can just proceed.
Since
Address
there is
the
no
presiding officer.
insufficiency of support of sport in the land, our people are struggling. So I understand you are trying, but we must take these things very serious because it's the only thing that is
You should
helping
ask
now.
a question.
The question is, now you get that 10 million and you are only asking now the new sponsors to come. How sure are you that you are going to get a main sponsor as soon as possible? That is the question.
Thank you. I recognize Honorable Hifikwa.
Speaker, I don't want to be bullied this time. The Deputy Minister of Education, thank you for that information. We are ready to come on board, as you have made it clear that we should come on board. I just want to understand one thing. You have highlighted that the SWAPO-led government invested in sports. There is nothing wrong. Yeah, I just want to know if you are now willing to make football a formal profession, or our youth will continue to play for free. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But honorable members, no, honorable members. Okay, that's an important question, but also not a follow-up question. But I would allow it one last time. Honorable members, when a minister makes a ministerial statement, the question must relate to the statement, not to the whole sector. Now, we are past break time, but there is only one person on the list, the Honorable Lucato. So with your understanding, I'll give the floor to Honorable Lucato and allow the minister to respond, and then we'll have a break. Yeah, Honorable Lucato.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have two questions, Honorable Deputy Minister. Can you clarify that the resources which was sponsors belong to SWAPO or it belong to the state? Yeah, that's it. Secondly, the last one, I just want to ask you, because you are only say SWAPO, are you a minister of SWAPO or a deputy minister of Namibia? Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Honorable Balotti, you may please answer. Honorable, you have the floor, please.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, let me try my best to, within my 3 minutes allocated, address all four honorable members. Honorable Hishono, my shadow, I wish to affirm and confirm that it is funding from a SWAPO-led government. I also take note of your questions, and with all seriousness around our sports stadiums, I will tell you that we're actively working towards unlocking them sooner than later. No, it's okay. And I believe within due time, we will give an update. I was in Nkurukuru at the weekend, and we're Nkurukuru at the weekend in Kavango West, and we're quite excited with the progress that's been made. We were in Ohangwena recently, Nana, and I've been on the ground. We've been there to assess the situation, but we will give an update of our sport infrastructure. Equally, our 121 basic sport infrastructures. I think all the noise that we're receiving from the general public before this year is finished, maybe that noise will change. But I ask that we've been doing this for some few months, and very soon we have 5 years to complete what we've committed. The second question is Honorable Shitana. I want to state what I said in the ministerial statement: interference versus intervention. And believe me when I tell you that we have been making calls today to confirm additional sponsorship. This was the mandate of the Namibia Football Association, but now government is intervening. We are not interfering. And it's a valid question: how will we secure the additional 10 million? But that will come very soon. And it's our belief that by next week, we will inform the public that we've secured the additional 10 million through private sector. To the third question, Honorable Gifikwa, our Shadow Minister, indeed, we are trying to professionalize football. I think that's why the 20 million is stated. That has been the quantum, that has been the status quo. And without that number, we cannot pay players, we cannot pay officials, we cannot pay clubs. So we are moving into a semi-professional direction, but that's the reason why we need this additional funding. And lastly, to my senior, Honorable Lukatu, I shall repeat, it is the resource of a government which is led by SWAPO. I thank you very much.
The House will rise for a break of 15 minutes until 5 after 4. Thank you. We may take our seats, please. Now we proceed with our program, and the next is reports from the Committee of the Whole Assembly and consequential proceedings. Any such? None? And then order of the day. The Secretary will now read the order of the day. Notice.
First notice.
Now, I was away for 2 days and I'm trying to refresh myself. Okay, the first notice of a motion is the one by Honorable Dr. Austin. Who seconds the motion? Okay. Any objection? Okay. Yes. Yes. So is it an objection or point of privilege?
Is both an objection?
No, it can't be both because...
Okay, point of privilege. Point of
Honorable
privilege.
member, if you raise an objection, it will call for a vote.
Okay, point of privilege.
Yeah.
Honorable Speaker, today is Thursday. And as per the custom ever since that we joined this parliament, Thursdays are meant for answering questions. We have got all these questions that are unanswered, and we're expecting answers. So I don't know how we are ending up with the order paper when we have these questions that need to be answered. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, indeed, it is a Thursday, and we considered the 3 items on the agenda, being the motion on Cuba, and then there was a policy on disability, and the just motivation of the bill on land as urgent items that in terms of the rule, where is that rule? That task the Secretary in consultation with the presiding officer to arrange the order as may be necessitated by circumstances to bring those issues forward so that they can be considered before we go to the questions. So that was the right that was being exercised.
On the point of privilege. Yes, Honorable Speaker, what you have just said now, please enlighten me. What is this urgency in this Cuban situation that we must skip other items that were on the order so that we could quickly talk about Cuba? What is going on really? We want to know. What is this urgency for Cuba discussions in this House? I'm asking.
Yes, Honorable Member, with regards to the urgency of the specific items, I think those are for the members that are moving to explain the urgency to the House, and not for the presiding member. But upon listening to the motivation that was put, the presiding office decided to exercise that flexibility. But I see maybe there is someone who is also dealing with that aspect, Honorable Amtenya, on that point that is raised by Honorable Hishono.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I do not understand why a member have to question the urgency of an item that is in the order of the day. I do not understand. Am I protected, Honorable Speaker?
Yes, Honorable Member, let him just make his
Yes,
point
because
of privilege.
I do not understand why a member have to ask for the explanation of the urgency of the matter. We have the order of the day, which was formulated as per Rule 119. That is, empowers the Secretary in consultation with the Speaker to arrange the proceedings. And that explanation should be sufficient to justify why we have the order of the day as is. Therefore, I'm saying we need to move, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, maybe the question that is to be asked is, and I hear what Comrade Honorable Mbita is saying in a decision making when the rules are saying otherwise. But I hear what Comrade Honorable Mbita is saying, and I cannot even begin to imagine that there is a Namibian who does not appreciate what Cuba has done for us. I don't even want to start to believe that, because that would be so contradictory to the collective views of the Namibian people. So please let us try to make sure that at the next opportunity we show the usual unity that we show, because Cuba did not only support us, Cuba is upholding the values that we share with them. The right of smaller countries to exercise their sovereignty, you know, and so forth. So please, honorable members, can we proceed? Yeah, let's proceed, please. Now, today being a Thursday, we proceed to questions. The first one is number 3 by Honorable Venani. Did the Honorable Venani delegate to anyone? Okay, the Minister of Works and Transport is also not here. So to the Minister of Works and Transport. And both Honorable Venani and Honorable Nekuti are not here. So we proceed to question number 4 by Honorable Venani to the same Honorable Minister of Works and Transport. They are both not here. The next one is Honorable Sheundo, Mbinge Sheundo, to the Minister of Works and Transport, and they are both not here. The next one is by Honorable Motu to the Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration and Safety and Security. She's not here, and she doesn't have a deputy. The next one is by Honorable Venani, question number 20, to the Deputy Prime Minister. Is anyone delegated by Honorable Venani to put the question? Question number 20? No? Okay. Question number 21 is 23 is by Honorable Venani to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Is anyone delegated by Honorable Venani? None. So, but there is no one that is delegated, unfortunately, to put the question. So, the question number 24 is by Honorable Thomas to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. They are both not here. Yeah. So, Honorable Hishona, please take a note. That's on a lighter note. Now, question number 28 is by Honorable Motu to Honorable Minister of Works and Transport. The Minister is not here. Yeah. The next question is 29 by Honorable Ipumbu of NEFF to the Minister of Justice. Honorable Ipumbu is not here. Yeah. The next question, number 30, is by Honorable Venani to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Is anyone delegated? He's not here. So, question number 47 is by Honorable Hengari to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. She's also not here. Then 48 is by Honorable Hengari to the Minister of Justice. She's not here also. Then 55 is Honorable Shitana to the Minister of Finance. Honorable Shitana, do you put the question? Yeah, do you put the question?
I put the question.
Okay, Honorable Minister of Finance, you have the floor. Yes, point of privilege? Yes, please.
Yeah, no, Honorable Speaker, I want possibly this process will also educate me. Yeah, this process the explanation can also educate me, because if we go to Rule 114, it says, in accordance with Article 53 of the Constitution, the quorum for a sitting of the Assembly where voting is required consists of 49 members entitled to vote.
Only voting.
That is voting. Excluding the Speaker or the presiding member, and when no voting is required, consists of at least 26 members entitled to vote, excluding the Speaker or the presiding member. Now, Honorable Speaker, I want to understand this issue of these motions. Do they require voting? Or which one informs the issue of voting or not. I just want to be educated on this one. And I must be protected on this issue, Speaker. Yeah. So that I know better for the future. Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to answer the question of the honorable member. You see, honorable members, as we have said, the order, the way that it was put today, it was only to give preference to the items as identified. It was not to give preference to all the motions, above the questions. It was to give the preference to the motion on Cuba, to the policy on disability, and to the bill. Because we saw that the agenda was predominantly just motions, and the policy and the laws were somewhere towards the end there. So, in exercising of that provision, the Secretariat then had to review the agenda in order to give priority to the policy and to the law. Yeah, so unless if we really decide on that day and we announce at the beginning to say today, or Thursday, we are not going to prioritize questions, we will deal with all the motions, which we can also do. We can also do that. Ne? And I only take it that probably you are highlighting the need for that, and we take note of that. Because now the questions are too many, the motions are too many, and we are not complying with the rules that say ask one question, we ask 3 questions for more than 3 minutes, and no, honorable member, it takes as long to answer a question as it takes to pose it. In fact, more. Yeah? So, honorable members, let us agree to try and exhaust our agenda by not really bombarding our agenda also with too many things at one time and end up not being able to exhaust them. Colleagues, can we agree to go through? Because what I'm looking at now is a house more than half empty. So maybe we only have 5 questions to answer, and then we'll be back on the agenda with the motions. Okay? The question was the Minister of Finance answering.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would want to respond to the question of Honorable Stana that was talking to our...
Okay. Yes, proceed, Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to respond to Honorable Stana's questions that were talking to issues of the banks, and specifically asking for how many banks have toilets, how did the banks secure these their banking licenses without fitting certificates, and so forth. Before I come to the conclusion of the question, I wish to indicate to this August House that the Bank of Namibia, as per their act, it performs various functions. 1, it formulates monetary policies. It serves as the government banker, as a financial advisor to the government. It looks at financial system stability. It looks to issues of currency management and overall banking supervisions. Now, when I looked at the questions of Honorable Sitana, and I really did my homework on Honorable Sitana, I have just concluded that the questions were misdirected because they are talking to issues of municipal laws, and those ones fit nicely under the responsibilities and functions of the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I could not speak to the toilets because that is not falling under the responsibilities of the banking sector, who are regulated and supervised by the Central Bank of Namibia.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The question may be redirected. Honorable Lukato, on question number 60, to the Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Honorable Speaker, I pose the question to the...
Yeah, does the Right Honorable Prime Minister, is she ready to respond?
Honorable Lukato asked me a question on corruption within the regional and local authority structures. At the onset, I must state that the question as presented It lacks a lot of specifications, and therefore it has general in nature, and it does not specify which individuals and which specific crimes are being referred to. Without specific allegations or examples, it is difficult to meaningfully investigate or respond in detail. That said, I'll take this opportunity to provide a comprehensive overview of the frameworks and mechanisms that government has established to combat corruption and uphold integrity in the public sector. Namibia has a sound and comprehensive legal and institutional framework designed to detect, prevent, and punish corruption. The cornerstone of this framework is the Anti-Corruption Act, which establishes the Anti-Corruption Commission as an independent body tasked with investigating corruption-related offenses and promoting public awareness. This is complemented by legislation such as the Public Procurement Act, the Prevention of Organized Crime Act, and the Financial Intelligence Act, which mandates the Financial Intelligence Center to monitor suspicious financial transactions. In addition to this legal architecture, we have in place a range of institutions working in concert to promote accountability. This includes the Office of the Auditor General, the Public Service Commission, and the Central Procurement Board of Namibia, which provides oversight in state procurement. The Anti-Corruption Commission continues to operate independently and with increasing coordination with law enforcement. Furthermore, our government has adopted the National Anti-Corruption Strategy and Action Plan for the period 2021 to 2025, therefore expiring this year. Furthermore, our government, this strategy referred to above reflects a whole of government and the whole of society approach to fighting corruption. It is complemented by our broader efforts to modernize public administration through digitization, reduce red tape, and promote transparency. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Namibia is also a party to a number of regional and international instruments, including the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and the Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption. These instruments guide our reforms and underscore our commitment to international best practice. Let me reiterate that if the honorable member is aware of any such individuals in those regional councils or local authorities who are corrupt, I urge him to bring those matters to the attention of the relevant authorities, including the Anti-Corruption Commission, so that they may be investigated fully. Corruption is not only a legal issue, it is a moral one. It affects the delivery of service, the confidence of the public in its institutions, and the integrity of the state itself. It is for very reason Excellency President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah has made a bold and unequivocal declaration that corruption in Namibia must be treated as tantamount to treason. This underscores the severity with which we view scourge of corruption. This position, honorable member, reinforces the SWAPO party government's commitment to rooting out corruption at all levels and holding perpetrators accountable with the full weight of the law. In conclusion, honorable Speaker, honorable members, I reaffirm our government's zero-tolerance stance on corruption and invite my good brother, Bishop Honorable Lukato, to be more specific in his claims so that the appropriate measures can be taken. We remain open to scrutiny and accountability. We remain accountable to the people we serve. The honorable member, in relation to the regional councils and local authority, I think that is where the people are. So if there are instances of corruption, it means it deprives those people from receiving the service. And hence, we are in agreement with you, wherever it is, let's work together to ensure that we root it out so that our people in all 121 constituencies and 14 regions, they get the service they deserve. I so submit. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you. Honorable Mukato, any follow-up question?
Let me say thank you very much, my good relative, Honorable Right Prime Minister. Yeah, don't have a question. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. The next question is question number 62 by Honorable Mouton to the Minister of ICT. Is anyone delegated to put the question? Okay, no one. So the next is who? So the next one is question 63 to Honorable Kalangula, by Honorable Kalangula to the Minister of Works. Both are not here. The next is question number 64 by Honorable Hengombe to the DPM. Is Honorable Hengombe here? Has he delegated? Okay. Question number 65 is by Honorable Likando to the Minister of Environment. Does Honorable Likando put the question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I put the question.
Okay, Honorable Minister of Environment, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, I thank you for the opportunity to address this August House in responding to the question posed by Honorable Likando concerning sausage flay shuttle and kioski concession. The sausage flay shuttle service and kioski concession, which incorporates campsite concession at Farm Albeit Adult, was awarded in line with the national policy on tourism and wildlife concession on state land of 2007. I first just want to give explanation before I come straight to the questions. The application for this concession from the community of Kakun and Maltahohe community was received in April 2023 and was discussed by the concession committee during their meeting on the 20th of July 2023 and 17th August 2023. And the committee recommended for the concession to be awarded. As the two communities did not have a legal structure to sign contract with MEFT, the concession committee recommended that MEFT should advertise the concession on tender to procure an operator for the concession with the two communities as beneficiaries. On the 8th of November 2023, MEFT advertised the Farm Albeit Adult Campsite Sausage Flay Shuttle Service Concession tender in the media for public participation. The advert was published in the Republican, the Namibian Sun, Algemeine Zeitung newspapers, as well as the MEFT website. 14 companies and individuals expressed interest in the concession and received the tender documents. 8 bidders attended a compulsory bidder briefing meeting, while 7 bidders attended the compulsory concession site meeting. At the close of the tender, 3 bidders successfully deposited their proposal in the tender box. Of the 3 bidders, 1 bidder failed during the opening of the bid proposals. Two bid proposals were therefore submitted to the bid evaluation committee for complete evaluation. Grow Namibia, trading as about sausage flay adult concession management, emerged as the successful bidder. A concession operator contract was signed between MEFT and the successful bidder in February 2024. I will now go straight to the question and reply to the specific question as raised by Honorable Likando. Question 1, ownership clarification. Could the Honorable Minister clarify for the record who is the recognized legal owner or beneficiary of
Minister,
the
don't repeat the question. Just go to the answer.
Okay. The answer to that question, the concession owner through the signed legal concession contractor is Grow Namibia, which is trading as about Sausage Flay Adult Concession Management. On the second question, the answer is, as with all concessions, government transfer only concession rights to a concession holder. The concession holder in this case is Grow Namibia, which is trading as about Sausage Flay Adult Concession Management, and will for the next 25 years have the right to transport tourists and visitors from the Sausage Flay 2x4 parking to the parking area at the dead flay, as well as the right to develop and operate a kiosk at the 22x4 parking area. That was a sub-question for question 1. Question 2, the answer is in their proposal, which was submitted during the tender about adult Sausage Flay management submitted to MEFT, that the company will pay an annual amount of...
Okay, so I will add 2 minutes for the minister to finish answering. Go ahead, 2 minutes to finish.
Okay. Yeah, it's amount of $2,228,544 to the two community. And the MEFT as concession fees in the first year of implementing the concession. There are other benefits which the company also proposed, including establishing an agriculture and food security project for the community, commitment to buy an ambulance for the community, providing education and training and all that. The concession holder has thus far encountered a range of challenges in executing concession as planned. This matter is currently under review and receiving due attention from the ministry. Due to the ongoing operation difficulty, the concession holder has indicated that it will be unable to meet certain performance targets set for the current financial year, which is 2025. Although the concession contract was signed in February 2024 and only became operational in October 2024, with the first annual concession fees expected by the end of October 2025. No benefits, including fees or community projects, have been paid out or implemented to date. On the last question, which is also the third question, it has been publicly observed that Namibia Wildlife Resort, NWR, continue to operate transport services within the Sausage Flay area, especially in proximity of the 2x4 and 4x4 parking zone. Okay, the answer for that question, if you read further the question, it was a long question. There is no agreement between MEFT and NWR. In the absence of contract or agreement that NWR, therefore NWR is not obliged to rent any income to MEFT or any community. In other words, NWR has not given the ministry or the community any funds. If you read the question, you will understand the context of the answer. And so submit.
Very good. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now, is there any follow-up question? Only question, Honorable Likando.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister. I recently traveled to the concession site. And it is true, Honorable Minister, NWR is still operating in that area. They are studying all about Africa to execute their mandate, to do their business properly, and even to develop the area. They have even engaged, went to the extent
Member,
of...
are you asking a question?
Yes, yes.
You must ask a
All right.
question.
All right. Now, Honorable Minister, the question is, what is the ministry doing with the continuation of the distractions by NWR? Because it is there, the NWR is still operating there. What is the ministry doing to protect the concession holder?
Yes. Thank you. The Minister?
Let me just explain one thing. That area that we are talking, I'm sure you are familiar with the area. The area of 2x4 area where the kiosk is. There is no, going beyond that, there is no exclusive right. That is one point to note. NWR is a house to their guests, and they have the right to shuttle their guests. Of course, not to pick up people by the area of contention, the 4x4 and 2x2, 4x4 area. So, and if that is happening, I think you raised the same question to me a day before yesterday, and I have tasked the staff that if that is happening, it should be discontinued. But NWR or any other person, even individuals, are having the right to reach the area of 4x4, provided that they come with their own transport, but not to pick up people at 2x4. That is the only, there is no exclusive right. I hope I made myself clear.
Yes. Okay, thank you. The next question is 66 by Honorable Jonas to the Minister of Justice. Honorable Jonas, do you put the question?
I put the question, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister of Justice.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, this August House, I graciously welcome this opportunity to address the important concern raised by Honorable Justin Jonas of the SWAPO Party regarding non-compliance with the national minimum wage orders. This concern speaks squarely and directly to our shared commitment as a nation to the cause of justice, fairness, and the dignity of every citizen. At the heart of it, the minimum or the national minimum wage is not only a legal safeguard, but it's also a moral undertaking that no Namibian worker shall be undervalued or exploited in any manner or form. With this in mind, Honorable Speaker, permit me to respond in the following fashion. The rate of compliance with the national minimum wage order by employers since the implementations of the national minimum wage order in January 2025, the Ministry, through its Directorates of Labor Inspectorates, has conducted 716 workplace inspections across key sectors, including wholesale and retail, security, transport, manufacturing, and fishing. Of this, 481 workplaces, representing 67%, were compliant or were found to be compliant, while 235 workplaces, representing 33%, were found to be non-compliant with the national minimum wage order. Further, I would like to inform this August House that about 1,032 inspections are scheduled during the current quarter, ending this month, targeting the agricultural, hospitality, and the informal sector. On the issues of the non-compliance and the enforcement measures that are in place, I would like to inform this August House that where non-compliance was detected, the Ministry has acted firmly in line with Section 126 of the Labour Act, resulting in the issuance of roughly about 69 compliance orders. Of those 69, 42 were issued to wholesale and retail industry, 25 to the security industry, 1 to the construction industry, and another 1 to the hospitality industry. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker, through this enforcement effort, the Ministry has recovered about 1,011,709.43 Namibian dollars in an unpaid wages, which has since been reunited with their deserving owners, the affected employees that are. Follow-up inspections are ongoing to ensure sustained compliance. On the questions of public awareness and education, I want to inform this august House that the Ministry has actively invested in awareness initiative before and after the introductions of the National Minimum Wage Order. This includes regional road shows, trade fair participation, stakeholder consultations, and regular broadcast on radio, televisions, and social media. Information is also disseminated at Regional Development Coordinating Committee meetings. Additionally, the Ministry revived its SMS line 66111, which now serve both to spread information and to allow workers to report non-compliance. Also, Honorable Speaker, it's important that this platform equally allows us to inform the members of the public as to what the minimum wage orders are. And I think in the interest of time, I would give this to the Secretariat so that they republish it again. On the monitoring of sectoral minimum wage, the Ministry is busy.
Honorable Minister, please summarize. It's an important one. I'll give you 1.5 minutes. Yes. He'll finish. I know that he'll finish in 1.5.
I'm answering about 9 questions that were put to me, or 7 questions, Honorable Speaker.
Okay.
I appreciate the bonus of 2 minutes. We are monitoring, compliance in different sectors, as I have indicated, and so in so doing, the labor inspectors have a comprehensive checklist against which they assess employers against the various requirements of the law. On the enforcement responsibility, I think it's important to indicate that so the labor inspectors are mandated by law to issue the compliance orders, as I have indicated earlier. On the reporting mechanisms and work protection, I think it's important that the Ministry has regional offices in various regions, and the SMS line that I have referred to earlier on is still open. And in any event, our Constitution, in terms of Article 5, does sanction any discrimination against an employee that report the unfair labor practice. On access to information in the remote area, it's important again to emphasize that through our regional offices, through our website, and through our social media platform and the SMS line, we are reaching or endeavoring to reach to those in the rural area. Very finally, Honorable Speaker, I want to emphasize that compliance with the minimum wage order is more than a statutory duty. It's an ethical responsibility that affirms the value of labor and uphold the dignities of all people. Therefore, workers must honor this obligation. So, by honoring this obligation, contribute to social justice, strengthening of our economy, and foster a more productive workforce. I therefore urge that we continue to advocate for this, and I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Is there any follow-up question from Honorable Jonas?
There's no follow-up question, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. The next question is by Honorable Fries to the Minister of Home Affairs. They are both on here. Honorable Mvula, 69, to the Minister of Works and Transport. They are both not here. Honorable Jonas, question number 70, to the Minister of Justice again. Honorable Jonas, do you put the question?
I put the question, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Justice.
Honorable Speaker, I regained the leave to again talk to the questions that was put to me by Honorable Justin Jonas of the SWAPO Party. And I want to that pertains to how far we are in with regard to the to the institutionalizations of paternity leave. So I want to indicate that paternity leave in totality acknowledge the essential role of fathers in the early stage of their children's lives and the importance of shared parental responsibility. Its inclusion would be therefore not only a policy adjustment, but a significant step toward fostering gender equality and strengthening family bonds within our society. The ministry, in an effort of regularizing this, has appointed a tripartite task force comprising of all social stakeholders, or social partners rather, and the task force has assumed its duty already in May 2025. It is expected that a draft bill will be forwarded to the Labour Advisory Council by the end of this month, and the Labour Advisory Council is a statutory body that is established under Section 92 to advise or to investigate and advise the Minister in respect of labour-related issues, including amendment to the labour laws. It's therefore expected, or I am rather briefed, that as part of the proposed amendment, so the paternity leave is envisaged for inclusion. And if it eventually pass, the consultations of all stakeholders, including the sanctioning by this August House, then it shall carry into our legal architecture. On how many companies in Namibia currently offering paternity leave, I wish to indicate that the ministry nor the Social Security Commission has record on that, because the current legislation doesn't make provision for the paternity benefit. So for paternity benefit to be introduced, as I have indicated earlier, it would require an amendment to the existing legislation. But of course, we have an interest in finding out as to whether there are employers that are already affording this benefit by contact, and perhaps we will look into how we can probably get those statistics. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I thank Honorable Justin for a wonderful question.
Does the Honorable Member have a follow-up question?
No follow-up question, Honorable Speaker. Let me thank Honorable Minister for his response. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. The next question is by Honorable Mulunga of IPC to the Minister of Agriculture. Is Honorable Mulunga here? Would you put the question?
I put forward the question, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Mulunga, for your question. I would like to start off by saying that the legal framework for governmental objective is firstly to be located in Article 100 of the Constitution. As you know, the Article 100 vests the sovereign ownership of all the natural resources in the country, in the state. And then we have the Marine Resources Act of 2000. Originally, the Marine Resources Act did not include specific provisions enabling the government to leverage fishing quotas as a means of generating revenue for wider socio-economic or public sector initiatives. Therefore, to align with sector-specific law with the overarching principle of state ownership, the Marine Resources Amendment Act was tabled and it was amended. And according to that law, in terms of Section 2 and 3 of the amended Act, provides the government with authority to designate a portion of the total allowable cash for governmental objectives. This therefore created the legal basis in what is now known as governmental objective quota. And these are intended to support public objectives as and when is necessary. With respect to the auctioning of the fishing quota that we have queried, it is important to note that once a quota is allocated by the Ministry of Fisheries, it becomes a state asset. And in accordance with the provisions of the State Finance Act, the management and the disposal of such assets are governed by the established financial regulations and therefore fall under the stewardship of the Ministry of Finance. On the question as to why government has turned to auctioning of quotas, Honorable Member, the legal basis, as I said, for the governmental quota is explicitly outlined in Section 3, Sub 3 of the Act, which empower the state to utilize or harvest the marine resources to advance any socio-economic, cultural, or governmental objective in public interest. The auctioning of quota, therefore, should not be viewed solely as a revenue-generating mechanism. Rather, it serves as a strategic policy instrument purposefully crafted to advance critical national objectives. The adoption of the auctioning mechanism was purely not only to generate revenue for the state, but to also establish fair market value for the resource, ensuring the state receive appropriate returns. The appropriation of these funds is done through the Ministry of Finance, who is the custodian and competent authority to dispose governmental objectives. I believe the Minister of Finance has allocated the funds accordingly under the previous period in line with Treasury instructions. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, allow me to reiterate that participation in this process is facilitated through an open and transparent public bidding process. Participation is open to all qualifying bidders without discrimination of status, thereby upholding the principle of inclusivity and equal opportunity. The invitation for expression of interest is widely circulated through national print media, official social media platforms, and the Ministry of Finance website. Finally, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, on the question of percentage of fishing rights that are reserved for genuine fishing cooperatives, I wish to respond that the Ministry reserves a portion under the governmental objective quota specifically to support small-scale artisanal fishers. This is distinct from the commercial quota, which is allocated for commercial purposes. While the exact percentage allocated for small-scale fishery may vary based on the available total allowable cash, the Ministry's commitment to supporting this sector is evident through various initiatives such as the Hanganeni Artisanal Fishing Association based in Hendy's Bay. This model is part of a broader effort to ensure equitable access to the fishery resources for all Namibians. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to say that as we go forward, we are looking into improving the various methods that we use to ensure that we generate sufficient value for the state under the governmental quota objectives. I thank you. I so submit.
Thank you. Any follow-up question, Honorable Member?
Yes, I do.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that concrete feedback. However, some of the questions we skipped out, and I was very, very much interested in hearing from you, especially on the question of the fishermen at Okapale. And I know various engagements have taken place between the Honorable Minister and the fishermen. What has been done to date to make sure that we sort out that issue of the fishermen that are still to date at Okapale in Walvis Bay? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. That is an unrelated question.
Yeah.
But I would like to answer that we have resolved the issue of Okapale fishermen already in July. We signed the agreements with all the designated entities. We have allocated all the employees to the designated entities. However, we are aware that in some cases, there are employees who wish to move from one entity to another for various reasons, amongst them on the basis that they are getting better offers to another company. When we signed the designation agreement in July, we made it very clear that whoever moves from one entity to another, they move so at their own accord, but the quota will not follow them, because we are in any case nearing the end of the fishing season at the end of September. And therefore, I wish to really state that as far as we are concerned, we have allocated all the employees that were supposed to be allocated. We have released the quotas that were supposed to have been released to the 7 designated entities. We are, however, that there are people claiming on a daily basis that they belong to the Okapale fishermen. We have commissioned an audit into this issue in a government redress program to determine with certainty who were the original fishermen, who were on the master list, where are they, how have they been allocated, who are the players, and based on the outcome of that, we will decide on the way forward as far as that program is concerned. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The next one is by question 72 by Honorable Susiku to the Minister of Health. Is Honorable Susiku here? Okay, he's not here. Question number 73 is by Honorable Kanguru to the Minister of Defense. Okay, question number 74, Honorable Kalangula to the Minister of Works. He's not here, the Minister of Works. 75, Honorable Thomas to the Minister responsible for Education. Both of them are not here. Okay, is anyone delegated by the Honorable? Yeah, okay. 76 by Honorable Thomas to the Minister of Urban and Rural. The Minister is not here. 77, Honorable Thomas to the DPM. Anyone delegated? 78 by Honorable Motu to the Minister of Education. Honorable Motu, do you put the question? Yes. Is the Deputy Minister delegated to respond?
Honorable Speaker, I have not been delegated to respond to that question, so I ask for forgiveness, but we will ensure that by next Thursday, whether the Minister is here or not, we shall respond.
Okay, very good. The next question is 79 by Honorable Likando of IPC to the Minister of Environment. Honorable Likando, is he here? Yes, Honorable, the next question is by question number 80 by Honorable Ampanda to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Is there anyone delegated? Okay, the next question is 81 by Honorable Kandorodu to the Minister of Agriculture. It's not here. 82 by Honorable Kandorodu to the Minister of Works. So the Minister is also not here. 83 Honorable Fries to the Minister of ICT. Anyone delegated? No one. 84 Honorable Itope to the Minister of Home Affairs. They are both not here. 85 Honorable Itope to the Minister of Health. Is anyone delegated to put the question of Honorable Itope? Okay. 86 Honorable Kanyemba to the Minister of Defense. Anyone delegated? Okay. 87 Honorable Brinkman to Honorable Minister of Health. Yes. Question number 88 by Honorable Karonda to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development. Question number 89 is by Honorable Karonda. Oh, Honorable Karonda is not here. Is anyone delegated by Honorable Karonda? Okay. No one. 89, Honorable Karonda to the Minister of Agriculture. Anyone delegated by Honorable Karonda? Okay. Honorable Hifikwa to the Minister of Education. Yes, okay. Question number 90. Does the Honorable Member put the question? Okay, does the Honorable Minister, are you delegated to respond? Okay, please take the floor.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, thank you for the question, which I've been delegated to respond to on behalf of my minister. It is quite a lengthy one. I shall best try to stay within the 5 minutes. So, to not repeat the questions, I want to assure the honorable member that the ministry appreciates the recognition of the introduction of the Namibia Senior Secondary Advanced Subsidiary, known in short as AS level. The honorable member is indeed correct that AS is an internationally recognized qualification promoting higher order thinking skills such as critical thinking, analysis, and evaluation, as well as an application of knowledge. Now, to respond briefly to each of the questions, firstly, the ministry would like to indicate that the first 87 AS schools were identified by the regional councils, then called the Regional Office Directorates on Education, Arts and Culture, on the basis that such schools should have been offering the former higher level in subjects that had practical components. It was conceived that the standards of such labs should be meeting a minimum standard required for the NSSCAS biology, physics, and chemistry practical work. When renovation or expansion was required, a budget provision was made in preparation for curriculum implementation. To the second question, the answer is no. As indicated, many practical laboratories meet the required standard, but due to the high level information awareness, and intensified continuous development support, the number of learners in STEM subjects increased rapidly. As a result, some NSSCAS schools expanded by opening additional classes, and a few schools were upgraded from NSSCO to NSSCAS. This is generally positive evidence of the impact of the reformed curriculum. As per practice, the schools upgraded from the NSSCO to AS and underwent a registration process as required by the Namibia Examinations, Assessment and Certification Board. An inspection team from the regional office was required to conduct a site assessment and certify on the application form signed by team members as well as the director that a lab meets the minimum standards for practical subjects to be offered at AS level. The unexpected pressure on laboratory space was a result of a rapid increase in the number of full-time learners, candidates taking the CO and AS, biology, physics, and chemistry over the past 4 years. There is a table, and if time permits, 2019 there was an increase from, let me start from 2017, it was 7,655, 2019 an increase up to 2024, where it then stood at 20,434, more than 13,000 increase over that mentioned period. It's many questions, I'm not going to make it in time. To skip to question number 3, the data and statistics from the previous CO and AS examinations show an impressive and improved performance in the 3 practical subjects despite the fact that the number of full-time learners doubled. However, more still needs to be done by all stakeholders to support schools as well as the teachers. There is also another table that shows the performance of learners in 2024 in key priority subjects, which I can share with you offline, Honorable Member. Question number 4. Feedback to your question links with the response to question number 3. A lab may have 6 workstations that accommodates 25 to 30 learners. Learners may conduct practicals in groups in the afternoons, even if this number increases to 2 classrooms, example 60 learners, since AS learners are prioritized to be in the school hostel. However, practical assessments during final examinations may require 1 group of learners to be waiting in a secured environment to protect the integrity of the examinations. And yes, there could be challenges during teaching, since limited space in laboratories may generally lead to shortened practical sessions for each group, potentially compromising the depth and quality of experiments conducted. Learners may have less time to perform experiments thoroughly, reducing opportunities for in-depth understanding and skills development. I'm going to skip. Question number 5, teachers are indeed trained, pre-service and CPD, on how to conduct practical activities. There are generally safety procedures for learners in a science laboratory in schools, as well as instructions to be followed by learners. This is to minimize risk and ensure a safe learning environment. And maybe to jump to question 7, the Ministry is aware of the need to expand and construct new laboratories for practical subjects. The Ministry strategically planned to construct, and I want you to listen, Honorable Member, 168 science laboratories at a cost of 198 million Namibian dollars by 2030. And this is contained in the Ministry's Accelerated Infrastructure Development Plan, as well as our 2022 National Conference on Education Implementation Plan. I think for the sake of time, Honorable Speaker, I will not go to the next question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, the questions are too long. So please, Secretariat would also help us, and honorable members, summarize your questions. We can agree to have no more than 5 questions. We can't have 9 questions. They are too long, some of the questions. Yes, no. The rules say the questions may not be of an excessive length. I'm not just speaking to this question. I'm just looking at the questions here. There are many. Yeah. That was which question were we talking about? Now, question number 90. It has 6 questions. Does the honorable member have a follow-up question?
I do have a follow-up question. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. And thank you, Deputy Minister, for the information. We really needed that information because it compromises the implementation of the new curriculum and affects the results of our learners, as I have mentioned. I just want to know, because I am aware of the schools that are designated to have laboratories in our MTech book, but I'm talking about the secondary schools, not combined schools that we have in our MTech book. So I want to know that if there's a plan to rescue the schools that have no laboratories at all. There's no laboratory at school at all. Learners have to conduct their practicals in the nearby school, or not at all. They are taught practical, theoretically. So this is not okay. Can we come up with a plan? Perhaps. Thank you, Speaker.
Yeah, thank you. Does the Minister wish to say something?
Yes. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Shadow Minister. Let me answer now because I have some few minutes to answer that question verbatim. So the question around what are the plans? A, the Ministry is aware of the need to expand and construct new laboratories for practical subjects. The Ministry strategically planned to construct 168 science laboratories as mentioned. Number B, continued financial support to schools with practical subjects. Since 2021, the Ministry budgeted 15 million Namibian dollars and the funds were directly distributed with guidelines to schools to procure consumables or materials, tools and equipment for subjects with practical components. The accountability report with evidence of the procurement is submitted, etc. We also have an attached list of that 15 million, which I'm happy to share. Number C, continuous professional development from 2022 to 2024. The Ministry has trained 165 teachers for the NSSCAS biology, 150 for the NSSCAS chemistry, and 145 for physics on advanced practical skills. The impact of this targeted continuous professional development intervention is reflected in the improved external examination results. For the sake of time, I shall move to number D, joint efforts, partnership, and stakeholder involvement. We have, I can share that joint effort and stakeholder involvement are important to improve learning outcomes learning outcomes because education is not the responsibility of the teachers alone. It requires the participation and support of everyone who influences a child's learning environment. There is also, or rather, let me say, better resource mobilization. Stakeholder involvement brings in additional resources, a holistic learner support. Teachers handle academics, but parents and communities provide emotional, social, and moral support, as well as a note on inclusive education. But I want to say, and as I leave the notes, we are happy to have a conversation offline to go into a bit more detail, especially around the AS level, and we'll be happy to share that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The next question is by Honorable Nashinge to the Minister of Home Affairs. He's not here. The next one, 92, is by Honorable Kandorodu to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Is there someone to put the question? Who? Huh? It's empty there. Yeah, so the next question is 93, Honorable Kandorodu to the Minister of Health. Not there. The next question is 94, Honorable Haitota to the Minister of Urban and Rural. The next question is 95 by Honorable Klute to the Minister of International Relations, not here. The next question is 97, Honorable Kandorodu to the Minister of Health, not here. The next 98 by Honorable Hishono to the Minister of Education. Does the Honorable Member put the question? Is the Deputy Minister delegated to answer 98? Please take the floor.
Education debate this afternoon. Thank you. Honorable Member, Honorable Speaker, I'm going to be very brief, although there are 8 questions posed for this very specific one from our shadows. We appreciate you. So the first one, I am delegated to speak, and I shall speak on behalf of the Minister. So as the Minister of Education, I'm speaking on behalf of Honorable Steenkamp. She is fully aware of the facts regarding Hambili Haufiku Secondary School on the 19th and 20th of June 2025. Upon request by the organizers for the school to host the event during the said dates, the school board was involved in the decision-making process in response of this request. The school board of the Hambili Haufiku Secondary School agreed only to provide for the requested accommodation. Therefore, only the hostel accommodation was used. The conference event itself took place somewhere else. This agreement was reached between the school board and the organizers. To your second question, it is not correct to say that all political leaders, including the Prime Minister, converged at the school. Such, we can confirm, has not happened. Number 3, furthermore, we wish to set the record straight that neither slogans nor singing or a rally took place at the said school. Number 4, the pioneers only lodged and had dinner at the premises during their stay. Number 5, learners who were at school did not mingle with the pioneers. Number 6, accommodation was arranged in such a way that both learners and guests did not meet or engage. Am I protected, Speaker? Am I protected? Am I protected?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me continue my fake news, Honorable. Number 6, accommodation was arranged in such a way, and I want to re-emphasize, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, that this is the information that the Minister has received firsthand. So to number 6, accommodation was arranged in such a way that both learners and guests did not meet or engage. Number 7, the requested accommodation was indeed paid for. And to the 8th question, with these facts, Honorable Minister Steenkamp wishes to state that the school has not hosted any political party's activity. Thank you.
Question?
Honorable Speaker, we come to this house to tell the truth. We have taken an oath to tell the truth. And if we are coming with this denying things and misinformation.
No.
While I'm out of order, I do not have further questions.
No. Yeah, okay. Okay. Now I am told that the Honorable Hengari, or is it Honorable Mongo, has now delegated somebody, but it's not indicated which question his Honorable Hengari delegated to be put. Okay, next time, honorable members who are not here cannot send messages after their questions are posed and not answered and ask that we go back, especially when they follow now on television doing other things while we are here. So I think it's just a precedence. It's just a precedence. Yeah, no, honorable members, that is just a difficult one for. Yes. Oh, because messages came here saying that they have requested. So for as long as that was done, honorable member, I hear you, but then that's provided members don't send messages when they are not here. Because when they send, there will be a reaction to the, yeah, okay, so let the honorable members please be here to pose so that I will be able to respond to them. Otherwise, I can't agree. Okay, then, no, time is not up. We have a, it's a 5:35. So, I think we proceed with the last 2 questions, hopefully for the day, or is it only one? Now that's a question by Honorable, who? Honorable that was Honorable, where were we now? 98. That was answered. So now we go to 99, Honorable Lucato, to the Minister of Education. Yeah, is the Deputy Minister delegated to answer 99? Question of Honorable Lucato.
Honorable Speaker, I must equally apologize to Honorable Lucato. I am not delegated to answer that question.
Very good, it's okay. Then the next question, 101, by Honorable Hengari to the Minister of Urban, is not here. Then 102, Honorable Mwashindange to the Minister of Finance, deferred. So 103, Honorable Nashinge to the Minister of Home Affairs, not here. 104, Honorable Nashinge to the Minister of Justice, deferred. 105, Honorable Ihemba to Minister of Home Affairs. Is Honorable Ihemba here? No, Minister of Home Affairs not here. Question 106, Honorable April to Honorable Minister of Education. Honorable April, do you put the question? Deputy Minister, are you delegated? Please, you may take the floor.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, thank you very much, Honorable April, for your questions, which are pertinent questions. So the first one speaks to what will happen when a young person, does not have the required 20 points in grade 12. It is fair to say that the Youth for Green Hydrogen Scholarship Program will not cater to all young people seeking skills development opportunities in the two regions due to limited resources availed under the joint communique of intent between the Namibian and Federal Republic of German governments. To this end, the government of the Republic of Namibia, through the Namibia Green Hydrogen Program development partners, namely the NTA, and together with the Green Hydrogen Project developers, are finalizing the development of the National Skills Development Strategy and Plan for the green hydrogen and derivatives industry. The strategy will outline the national skills supply outlook for the industry, contrasted to the skills demand pattern of the green hydrogen project that are varying stages of feasibility, construction, commissioning, and production. Also, an analysis of the skills gap in the industry will then guide an implementation plan to develop skills development interventions through higher education and technical vocational training institutions. Also wish to add, Honorable April, energy training and skills development hubs are proposed to be established within the Southern Valley to oversee and coordinate the development, monitoring, and evaluation of the skills development interventions. It goes into a bit more detail. For the sake of time, I'm going to skip to the second question. Honorable April, given the challenge of low school completion rates in the two regions, selection requirements for the scholarship program, these are factual, were lowered to the minimum of 18 points for grade 11, NSSC, and 20 points for grade 10, JSC, to boost access among beneficiaries who would not meet the standard entry requirements of grade 11 with 23 points at both public and private TVET institutions across the country. The lowering of the entry requirements were informed by the realities on the ground. The regional governors of the two regions were consulted, and they recommended that the entry criteria be lowered to above mentioned selection requirements. Am I protected, Honorable Speaker? Am I protected? Yeah. Thank you. In addition, public and private TVET institutions require a pass in science and mathematics. Hence, the courses to be funded under the scholarship program will include a tailored 6-month TVET bridging program. In addition, the bridging program is intended to compensate for the limited exposure of the targeted group to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM fields of learning in their formal schooling. It is envisaged that future TVET courses aligned to the energy industry to be offered within the Southern Green Hydrogen Production Valley will be embedded with standard 6 months TVET bridging program. The bridging program, Honorable Speaker, I'm not protected, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm not protected. And this is a question to Honorable April. I'm responding to Honorable April. The third question, if I may, for the sake of time, the question was what will happen especially to those at the fringes of the urban centers and in the villages. It is envisaged that the piloting of skills development intervention will develop a model of inclusive entry-level TVET offering within the rural constituencies of the regions where the Green Hydrogen Project valleys are located. This model would focus on structured TVET bridging courses enhancing the skills mobility of the youth to access mainstream TVET programs and public and private TVET institutions across the country. The fourth question, it is the hope of the ministry that the responses provided above demonstrate the inclusiveness of the scholarship program and that the criteria has indeed been informed by the realities of the two regions. Lastly, the decision to allocate funding for a scholarship program specifically for the southern regions, cohort 3, was informed by the outcomes of the first 2 rounds of the scholarship, cohort 1 and 2. Whilst over 183 scholarships were awarded in the first 2 rounds, less than 10% of the awards combined were from the 2 regions. As we reflected on these outcomes, it became clear that we still had work to do to ensure equitable access, particularly for the youth of the Hadap and Karas regions, where the largest green hydrogen project in the country, namely Hyphen, was to be developed. In this regard, the Green Hydrogen Council approved the allocation of funding equally for scholarships for the Namibian youth in the Hadap and Karas regions. It is now the belief that the approach and sharing of the funding equally is indeed fair. I thank you.
Follow-up question. Does the honourable member have a follow-up question? None?
Okay.
Point of privilege.
Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
all along there is an accusation that SWAPO members of Parliament are not here to answer questions, and that our order paper is thick, and there is a request every time that we have to sit after hours. Especially, I would not say especially who, but Honorable Speaker, this is
Honourable member,
worrisome.
it's a point of privilege. Can you get to the point, honourable
This
member?
is worrisome.
Huh?
This is worrisome. I'm speaking as a deputy chief whip of a political party.
I want to hear what she's saying. Honourable member, can you make your point? Can you make the point, Honourable Popper? Direct yourself to the presiding officer.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. They can be on official missions, but it's
member,
them
can you
who
allow
are
the person
asking
to
the
make a point of
questions,
privilege?
Honorable Speaker. They can be on official duty. They can be on official duty, Honorable Speaker. But the fact remains, there is nobody here today to empty this order paper. So in future, Honorable Speaker, let's also see at how we treat these unnecessary questions, maybe.
Yes, thank you. Honourable members. What point are you raising on honourable member?
The early 2000s. Colleagues are not here because they are on official missions. The point is that questions that could be answered were answered. That questions that could be put were put, and we made progress today. Let us not dare to try to destroy the decorum of the House. What could be done was done. Let us be grateful for that.
Yes, honourable members, you are now engaging in a debate. That's what is happening. Point of privilege is to highlight an issue, not to debate. Yeah.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, members who are being accused of dodging questions from members of Parliament are always on official mission, just like those that are not present here who are accusing others. So therefore, it is very important. Our primary duty is to be here to be members of Parliament, and then by extension do some other activities. So therefore, the complaint from the Deputy Chief Whip of the ruling party is legitimate and it is very valid. So they must take their job also serious in as much as they accuse others. So, thank you, Comrade Speaker.
Honorable member, you are out of order now. Can you take your seat? Honorable member, can you take your seat, please? Now, honorable members, on that note, the House would rise on automatic adjournment until next week at 14:30.
The people